My name is Derek Cody, and this is my story.
So we understand you had a situation in Clayton County Jail. So how did you even end up in Clayton County Jail, and what for? What was your charges?
My charges was only property damage. It was a charge that was supposed to only be a misdemeanor, and somehow they made it to a felony. And the attorney that I had at the time, she made me aware that that was under $500 of damage, and they gave me the wrong charge. So I was in the cell amongst people with 10, 20 years with the charge that was a misdemeanor.
So they placed you in an environment with people who had way more serious crimes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what was your conversation with some of the people inside of that environment when you first initially walked in there?
Being that I know how to adapt to my situation, I kind of been in some hard situations before prior. I already knew, to not really talk too much. Don't let them try to fill you out too much. But, I'm a little different. I don't carry myself like most brothers do, and I don't really do the tough. So I guess they target people, you know what I'm saying, that don't act all tough and all that. Especially if you ain't gang affiliated, you'll have a problem. They don't care how big you is. They don't care about none of that. When you ain't gang affiliated in a jail like Clayton County or Wright Street or any of that, you're gonna run into some problems. You got to stand on your 10.
And how would you say you went about standing on your 10? And what was that experience like? The stabbing, because I'm sure we all seen the clips. I seen the clips, the news. They picked it up and everything. It's really big. So,
Absolutely.
like, just give us details about that scary scenario.
That scenario is more so like a lot of times you don't know what you would do in a situation you've never been in. You hear a lot of guys saying, "I do this, I do that." You know what I'm saying? I'm hard, I'm macho. I ain't no nigga gonna do this to me or that to me. Even though I stood on my 10, I was still scared. Hey, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it 100. A life death situation, I was scared, straight up.
And for the people who haven't seen the clips and stuff, give it like what happened.
Uh,
What happened?
but I'm gonna tell you, before I get to that, I wanna make sure everybody know, sometimes scared doesn't mean you react scared, and that's what shows what your character is made up. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're scared don't mean you gonna move scared. A lot of times in a life and death situation, you're gonna move probably opposite from how you think you would because your adrenaline is pumping, and you only thing you thinking about is trying to live and survive it. So a lot of time when you're scared, you're not gonna react scared. You're gonna do what you got to do to get about the situation you in.
Right.
But what was that question you asked?
Just for the people who haven't seen the clips, and they'll see it soon because I feel like it's gonna get bigger and bigger. But for the people that haven't seen it, what happened with the stabbing and Clayton County Jail, and them you being in your room? Because I saw the whole thing, but I saw you coming out the room. I didn't see what was going on inside that room.
So when they came in the room, I was in my top bunk, and as y'all know, Clayton County, them doors don't lock.
So they open.
Them doors they open.
Open door.
They can come in there and do whatever.
While you sleep.
You know what I'm saying? While you sleep. So when I was in the holding tank, they pretty much already let you know, man, orientation, go ahead and get your shanks ready. Because it's going down when you get to that flow. Depending on what part you go to, it's going down. Get your shanks ready. But I didn't get no shanks, because it's a shot at 22. You mess around and be the victim, but you got a shank on you, you still going to catch your charge for having one. So my situation was the good Lord, I didn't have no weapon on me, but I knew what time it was. And when I got in a holding cell, I already knew, look, I could die in here. So every time I get on the phone with my kids, I talk to them, I tell them I love them, and talk to them every night while I'm in there, because you don't know what could happen. And I know what kind of person I am. I can't allow myself, what the hell I look like telling my family to send enough money. I need money. I'm going to call for some money for myself, man.
So inside the room, give us step by step.
Inside
you
the
in your
room
chilling, they just walk in your room.
Inside the room, they told me lockdown. They said lockdown. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell? Somebody must have did something stupid up there. So when he said lockdown and I seen two niggas come in there with shanks, set me up. So in a situation like that, you got to think fast and you got to think smart. You know what I'm saying? So I had to maneuver my way out of it. I hear them questioning the guys, asking them, hey man, what y'all gonna do on this cash up? And my cellmates, they go down. They turn into they felt threatened. And I already knew where it was going. Once they started reacting the way they reacted, I already knew I had to do something. I ain't have a choice.
So how many guys pressed you inside the room?
Two of them had shanks. 2 guys had shanks, and 2 other guys, they may have bullied them into having them go against me and set me up. And what I did was reacted quick, because if I stay in there, I'm going to die. So what's the chances if I go ahead and try to survive it? Push one guy out the way, got myself up out that situation. And then when I walked to the stairs, you had about 4 guys surrounded by the door. It was about a group of guys, 4 or 5 guys grouped up by the window. And they told me, if you knock on that door, you bang on that door, we're going to stab you. We're going to stab you every time you bang on that door. Yeah, what's the chances? I'm trying to make it out. I want to go home. So either I do what they asked me to do, go back to that cell, end up dying anyway, or I go ahead and take my chance and keep banging on that door while I'm constantly getting stabbed. And finally make it up out of there.
And I seen like in the comments of some of the videos and some of the coverage that some people trying to say you a thug and that you kind of deserve to be in that environment. They don't even know your background. They don't even know how hard your dad worked to keep you out of the streets and all that.
One thing about my background, man, I tried to escape being in certain environments to the best of my ability from 18 years old. My godmother took me in my 12th grade year because it was getting rough. I was finding myself in trouble. My family, my household was kind of shaking a little bit and divided. So she allowed me an opportunity to go to a suburban neighborhood, a really good suburban neighborhood where I ended up graduating high school. You know, from there I went to the military. From the military I came home. I became a truck driver. I also managed a hotel in Atlanta, Georgia, off Hammond Drive. Did a night auditing where I was seen on CNN and Steve Harvey's show for helping a guy that had a massive heart attack prior to coming there. And I walked 4 miles during the ice storm to go pick up his medicine, walked 4 miles back and continued to run the hotel and help people out that was there. And it ended up going viral. After that, I went to Atlanta Tech. Airplane technician, but you know, all of those things that I've done, you know, as soon as you go to jail, they label you off the rip. Yeah. You know, a lot of times I be honest about it. You know, I can't play victim. I did something wrong to get there. Right. But do I think that what I did was worth what I faced in having a bogus charge that's not even the charge I was supposed to have? Absolutely not. And that's why Clayton County is going to have to pay for it. My lawyer, that's a lot of the famous entertainers' lawyers. God looked out for me hard with the attorney I had.
And I saw, like, when I had questions of when you was at that door, you hitting the door, and every time you hit the door, I seen two brothers, 2 niggas stab you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, was you trying to get the guard attention
to open that door and get me up out of there?
Was they ignoring you?
I was right in front of them.
How hard
so
was it to get their attention?
I was right in front of them, so apparently they was ignoring my ass. Hell yeah. So when he finally opened the door and let me out, I didn't realize I still had a piece of metal still in my arm. I had a piece of metal, like they said in the news, still in my arm after they let me out. So my adrenaline pumping. So I'm still kind of popping my like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm shocked I survived it, but for some reason my adrenaline was pumping. I was still popping shit, and I let know all y'all. It take 5, 6, 7, 8 to click up on one, and I didn't even hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? I don't know thugs, just on some man shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a guard. That's all.
I respect that. I was proud. I ain't gonna lie. I was proud. Like, yeah. Because, like you say, a lot of people put in that situation that ain't no telling how you would react.
And the thing about it is so detrimental because a lot of times a guy that fall in that situation, he going to react with his pride. And then when you react with your pride instead of intelligence, you out of there quick. Yeah, because you knock one of them niggas out, you already know. Now you done hurt their pride. You got them cute ass CO women looking at them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You done beat his, you know you could beat it because it take 4, 5, 6 to tame. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
so
once you hurt their pride, you're going to die about that. Especially if they're going up the road 20 years.
You had to think.
Absolutely.
Not play tough or try to be tough, but I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to go home.
Yep, it was rough, man. You know, Clayton County is a monster, man. You know, they will sweep shit up under the rug and forget about you.
How was everything going as far as the legal?
The legal matter, man, it's going awesome. It was a slow approach because this happened way back in last year. But I just never gave up on my story, and I always reminded them before I got the news reporter I have, Mr. Parati, awesome man. Thanks a lot, Mr. Parati. Before he took on my story, I called almost every news channel available, but this was so frequent. It's like, man, okay, get in line. You're the next nigga that got stabbed.
For somebody who maybe going or went through similar, how would they, like, tell them how did you approach it to get this coverage? Like, what can somebody else do if they was in the situation to try to get some justice?
Man, believe in yourself, believe in your story, and say, I'm not gonna shut up until this shit gets somewhere. Straight up, man. You know, hey, look, this is my story. This is what happened. You know. Some of them will brush it off, or he ain't nothing but a street thug. Look, he got some priors, or he got
gang
some
affiliated.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I always say, man,
have you ever been gang affiliated?
Absolutely not. But I mean, of course, growing up in certain environments, predominantly black neighborhoods, you know, you're always gonna have associates or family ties. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of. Affiliated to different things, but that never had nothing to do with me. I always been my own person, you know, and that's how I survived anywhere I lived in Atlanta, Memphis, anywhere. I always been myself, and that protected me and took me a long way, you know, just being myself and not trying to act like this or that.
And what's one of the most important things you learned from this situation?
The most important thing, stay my black ass out of jail. I mean, the most important thing, man, that I learned out this whole situation, God can take the worst thing in your life and make it the best thing that ever happened to you.
Amen.
You know, like I went through, before I got locked up, I had the F-150 truck sitting high up. I had a BMW truck. You know, I was doing my little thing, making my little money. It wasn't a whole lot, but I was doing pretty good for myself. And I lost my family. It threw me back in a mental place, and negligence is what got me in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And losing somebody I really love. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it wasn't reciprocated the same. And so I reacted in a way that I wasn't supposed to. That a man, that, you know, most men do that, got pride and don't know how to effectively communicate how they feel. You know what I'm saying? As a learning man, I didn't know that. I'm not going to hit a woman, but I'm going to tear up every motherfucking thing around me. That was my old mentality, you know. And that's what I did to land me up in jail. Some stupid ass shit. You know what I'm saying? But that same stupid ass shit that the opposition, or for some of you that's not too spiritual, the opposition or the devil, the biggest trap he made became the biggest blessing. That's all off of our choices. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say, you know what I'm saying, be a thermostat and not a thermometer. Never let situations around you, your environment you in, dictate who you are. You know what I'm saying? Just because you grew up around the streets, you grew up around murderers, killers, that don't mean you got to be what the streets want you to be. You could be your own man. You could be your own person. You can do anything you want to out here.
Respect. So I think we'll just continue this story on another day, for real. We're going to edit this part out.
Absolutely.
I'm saying right now. But
okay.
I think we should, because we running on time and we had a late start. So we'll come back and we'll be a lot more prepared.
Absolutely.
I'll write down more questions and we'll go over them before we even come here.
Right.
Just have a more structure and organized with it. This was just on the first. He called me just now, like a couple hours ago, and said, let's do it. Then we put it together real fast. So it's straight organic shit.
Oh yeah,
it
absolutely.
Ain't scripted. So.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad you still here, bro. Cause
oh yeah.
The way you speak about it, make it feel light. It feel light, cause like, you know what I'm saying? Cause you took it on, But that shit's serious.
Yeah,
like,
it's serious.
Could die for real. Somebody died. Actually, I'm after that, right?
I'm mentally still fucked up because every time I turn on the news, a guy died from the same thing.
At the same.
You see, if you remember seeing when mine hit the news.
I seen another family.
3 or 4 days later, another man died from my same situation.
They family member didn't make it.
Exactly, and another guy from Wright Street, Fulton, he had the same exact charge I had. You could look it up on Google. Same property damage charge I had. Didn't make it. You know, and my thing is, no sir, I'm not better than nobody. I felt like I had to I'm not better than, I'm not more superior, I'm not more chosen, I'm not more, none of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm representing them. And I'm going to cry with them families. I'm a thug with them families. I'm going to struggle with them families. You know what I'm saying? Because that could have been me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's my job now to do what I can and motivate the youth to be your own person. Because the only thing that happens a lot of times when these guys get affiliated with certain gangs. Now, I'm not approving, but I'm not disapproving. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, don't stand for something you believe in. If you got an organization you with and y'all about development and raising the community to do the right thing, I ain't against it at all. But if you following something that doesn't have a purpose, or you following something that doesn't have a vision, a man without a vision shall perish. That's what it say in the word, you know. So if you following a group of niggas that ain't, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing positive, just destructive, what do you think is going to happen in your life? You're going to
fail.
Exactly. So, like I say, man, I'm not against organizations. Just make sure that it has a cost. It has a reason, a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Something greater come up out of a victory come up out of it. Don't just join some shit just to be protected, because you join some shit to be protected. When it's your turn to do some shit, you better do it, or if you don't do it, you ain't protected no more. And that's how it really go. You know, I mean, behind them walls, that's how it go. You know, tell them niggas you're not gonna get down, you know what I'm saying, but you just ask them niggas to protect you. You're gonna be the one poked up. You know, so it's like, if it ain't positivity, if it ain't fruitful, you know what I'm saying, if it ain't something that can build you and your family up, it ain't worth it.
You here to speak about it, man, so let's try to, you know, help the youth, help people not go through this same thing. And the ones who do, it is a way you can get some justice.
Yeah, it definitely is. My thing is keep God
pay
first.
For this shit.
Absolutely, make them pay for it. Because, I mean, the worst thing you can do is say, okay, let me go ahead and do it the nigga way, in Southern vernacular terms. Let me go ahead and do it the nigga way and get back, whatever. And when you do it that way, ain't no justice for you. And you're going straight back to the pen with them niggas again. You know what I'm saying? So if you see a way where I could handle this more political and it can be fruitful for me, do it that way. Get your justice the whole other way and come up off the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And have what you need to protect yourself, you know, when you gotta protect yourself. Yep. That's how I feel about it.
So yeah, before we wrap it up, anything, like any message you want to tell people, last words?
Think before you react, man. Don't let your pride don't let your pride make you lose your life. You know what I'm saying? If God with you, who can be against you? You know what I'm saying? Always know any of us can die any given day. You know what I'm saying? Any of us can be out of here. Don't matter how big you is. It don't matter how smart you is. It don't matter how street you is. Because it's always a group of niggas that's bigger than you sometimes, because a lot of these niggas is hoes these days. It's always a group of niggas. So always know your day can come any day. Just do the right thing. Show the love of God to the best of your ability. That's all the thing you can do in this world at this time, in these days. From outside East Atlanta, South Memphis, my hometown, Ioka, add my stomping ground, right by JB Lounge. I'm in Claiborne home with a bust down. Let's take it back.
Only on Atlanta News First, video of a man stabbed multiple times inside a Metro Atlanta jail. The victim claims he got into an argument with a former correctional officer now accused of orchestrating a similar attack. The former detainee who provided us video of his attack survived, but is still very shaken. We want to warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing to watch. Derek Cody walks out of his Clayton County cell in July 2023 after he says fellow detainees threatened his life.
They pretty much demanding, telling you, we're gonna stab you up. If you don't come up with a way to give us some money, we're gonna hurt you.
Watch closely. You can see two men with what appear to be shanks or knives in their hands. As Derek begs correctional officers to open the door, they strike. What are you yelling? What are you saying?
Look, I'm getting stabbed. Just making a gesture, I'm getting stabbed. And that's when he finally opened up the door.
Derek, who was detained for pending property damage charges, suffered stab wounds to his stomach, leg, and back. Taken to the hospital with a piece of metal still stuck in his body.
I didn't even look. I didn't even want to look. When she pulled it, I told her to go ahead and snatch it out as fast as she can because I don't want to think about the pain.
The day before the attack, Derek says he got into an argument with a correctional officer about using the phone. He says he felt threatened but didn't think much more about it until he learned about an arrest involving the same officer a few months later. He's former officer Jalen Clausell. This past November, the sheriff's office arrested him for allegedly helping multiple inmates assault a detainee. And it's not the first time a Clayton County jailer has been accused of planning an attack.
Shocking allegations involving a former Clayton County Corrections officer.
John Hollenshed is accused of planning and orchestrating a, quote, vicious attack on an inmate in his custody that he was sworn to protect.
The sheriff's office arrested at least 2 other jail employees for theft, once in May 2023.
According to the sheriff, Dixon used her position to steal from inmates.
Another officer arrested 2 weeks before Derek's attack.
A 5th Sheriff's Office employee has now been arrested in what officials say was an operation to defraud inmates.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was surprised.
Thomas Reynolds is Derek's attorney and plans to file a lawsuit against the sheriff's office soon. Why is the sheriff's office liable for what happened to Derek?
When you see an inmate crying for help, screaming for help, banging on the window for your attention and your assistance and your help because their life is in danger, you've got a duty to respond to that.
We showed the video to Devin Franklin with the Southern Center for Human Rights.
I'm angered. He's not being protected.
The attorney for the civil rights organization says Derek's attack illustrates the consequences of Georgia's extraordinary incarceration rates. According to the Prison Policy Initiative, Georgia locks up 968 per 100,000 people. Take a look. That's not only the highest in the U.S., it's a higher percentage of people behind bars than any free democratic country on earth. Nearly half of them in local jails.
These are innocent people. Whether they will later be determined to be guilty is a fact that is irrelevant to whether those who are in charge of their safekeeping are upholding their constitutional duties to keep them safe.
Yeah, it's kind of troubling remembering and coming back here.
A sheriff's office responsible for protecting those in its custody, accused of failing to do its job.
It's like, who's gonna protect you? The guards can't protect you. When you step into Clayton County Jail, you already had to have the mindset, I can die in here.